The banks were affected, the consumers were affected. Companies, not so much, because the subprime crisis is all about real estate and housing. So you see, the different crises affect different components of society, different components of the economy. Now we come to what is hanging over our heads now, the COVID crisis. The COVID crisis, if you want to say in Malay, is paling teruk. Okay? Because it is a global pandemic. It's affecting every country in the world, every company in the world, every person in the world. It is a pandemic. And government so far have put in 17 trillion US dollars to help various companies to stay afloat, or even people to keep their jobs and not to lose their jobs. So the COVID crisis is very, very serious. If you look at the COVID pandemic, so far in the world, 3.2 million people have been affected. 228,000 people have died. The same numbers for Malaysia, 505,945 have been infected, 100 people have died. Many people
So-
compared to the Spanish flu in 1920, where 500 million people died. So the COVID crisis is a very, very major crisis. And the worst part is we really don't know how to handle this virus. Anas, you had a question?
Yeah. I just want to put some additional question. Let's say in comparison, in 2008, the crisis, let's say, for a scale as a comparison between what we are facing now and going to face after PKP or after MCO, what is the level of comparison compared to the 2008 crisis? Is it 50%? Is it double, 10 times more, or how?
It will be much more. Like I said, in 2008, the US government wrote out a check for 700 billion US dollars, and they managed to solve most of the problem. But in COVID crisis so far, 17 trillion dollars has been spent by all the governments in the world, and it's still not enough. Just few days ago, the US injected another 500 billion. So, the COVID crisis, I don't know how many times worse than 2008, but it's really going to be very bad. How we're going to sort it out is going to be a very big challenge for governments, for companies, for individuals, and it affects everybody, even school children, affects everybody, affects old people, young people, healthy people, not so healthy people. So it's a crisis that's cutting across the world, and we can't see the end. They say if you find a vaccine, you may solve the problem, but the nearest vaccine is about 18 months away. So until then, we have to wait for the vaccine. And the tragedy is that even when you get the vaccine, the problem is not totally solved. A vaccine cannot cure the virus. It can only help to prevent to some extent. The only cure against the virus is the human body, our own immunity. So if our immunity is good, we will be cured. If not, we will be in trouble. Even with the virus, you'll be in trouble. So this crisis we're having on hand now is really, really bad. It's going to affect everybody. And it's something that we will come back to this later and talk a bit more, Anas.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ravi. Basically, apa yang disampaikan Mr. Ravi secara kesimpulannya, pada tahun 1997, krisis kewangan pada waktu tersebut hanya melibatkan negara-negara di Southeast Asia. dan hanya melibatkan satu sektor, iaitu sektor perbankan. Seperti mana juga tahun 2008, hanya melibatkan sektor perbankan dan hanya di United States sahaja. Jadi secara perbandingan, apa yang kita tengah dan sedang hadapi sekarang adalah satu krisis yang melibatkan keseluruhan negara dalam dunia ini dan melibatkan pelbagai sektor. Itu adalah satu perkara yang serius dan kritikal untuk kita kupas dan bincangkan di masa akan datang. Mr. Ravi, soalan yang terakhir daripada pendengar kita pada siri yang lepas, umum mengetahui, general public knows that the fastest date that we can obtain the antivirus or the vaccine will be next year, somewhere in May or June. So prior to that, there will be a social distancing move will be imposed or continue to be imposed even after MCO lift up.
Yeah.
So what will be your suggestion, general suggestion or ideas to those SME to continue their business?
Like you said correctly, social distancing will continue for quite some time, even if you have the vaccine. So your business, let's say, is a restaurant business. How are you going to do restaurant business? Even if the lockdown is removed, PKP is no more, people cannot come to your restaurant and eat. So you're affected. So SME got to start looking at their strategy now to see how they can survive this crisis. Either they think of starting a new business, or if they are in business and they think they can get a job, they go and get a job, or they have a job, they want to leave the job and start a business. So we, as all SMEs, got to start thinking seriously about this problem, and at least 1 year it's not going to go away. And like I said, even if it goes away, it's not going to go away completely. There is going to be at least one year more of social distancing. So you can't do your business. Like I said, if you have a restaurant, you can't do your business.
Okey, terima kasih Mr. Ravidan Krishnasamy. Di sini kita dapat satu perkara yang penting, iaitu social distancing atau penjarakan sosial ini akan diteruskan selama lebih kurang mungkin setahun atau lebih selepas MCO ditamatkan. So sebagai ahli perniagaan, kita telah mengetahui ini adalah satu constraint kepada kita selepas ini. Jadi kita masih lagi mempunyai masa untuk merangka strategi untuk adapt dengan the new norm yang kita sedang dan bakal hadapi. Okey, sekian dulu untuk segmen yang pertama ini. Kita nak terus kepada segmen yang kedua bersama Mr. Ravi, Lessons in Business, merungkai tajuk yang kita tak sempat habiskan pada siri yang lepas. Mr. Ravi, silakan.
Yeah, on Tuesday, I started a new segment called Lessons in Business. This is just to give everybody some basics in business. And I focus on the various departments in a company. And there were altogether 13 departments in a company. But because of time constraint, we only managed to finish 6. So we spoke a little bit about human resources, marketing, customer service, sales, accounting and finance, and distribution. Today I want to finish this slide, complete the picture on all the departments in a company. So the next department that is relevant in any company is research and development. Again, research and development, you won't find it in an SME. You find it in the larger companies, pharmaceutical companies, banks maybe, or larger companies, manufacturing companies, etc. So it depends on the size of the company. Sometimes research and development is outsourced or shared with another company. Okay. The next department is administrative and management. This is very important. This is what keeps the company going. These are the people who look after the administrative affairs of the company. They make sure the rental is paid, the office is kept clean, recruit new people, and generally manage the company. This is the admin department. The next one is production. If your company, if the SME is in manufacturing, production will be very relevant. That's something they have to look after. Some production is big scale, some is small scale. Guy may be manufacturing even something at home, but it's still production. Okay. Then you have operations. Operations basically refers to everything in a company where you have to do something. Okay. Maybe operations is when you get yourself involved in logistics or setting up housing for your workers. So there are many aspects of operations. Okay. Depends on the company. Like if it's a real small company, you may not have operations. They give that function to research and development. The next department is nowadays becoming very, very important. Information technology and support. Now information technology is very important to even SMEs. Included inside here will be your social media, how you're going to use Facebook, Twitter, and all the different social media platforms. So you need to have an information technology. Basically, it has two parts. One, it provides the information technology infrastructure for the company itself. Everybody has a PC or a laptop. Second, it starts developing techniques for marketing on the social media side. So IT, information technology in today's world is very, very critical. And a lot of information on the internet can also be accessed by this group. The next department is straightforward, is purchasing. The purchasing can be the cost of your goods that you are producing, or can be even general purchasing, including stationery and all that. So if you are manufacturing clothing, the purchasing will be buying thread, will be buying cloth and all that. Okay. The last one is legal. Legal department in a smaller SME normally is not there because it's very expensive to have a full-time legal department. So what they do is normally they outsource. They go to a big legal firm and they say, okay, I give you 5,000 ringgit a month. You advise me on all the legal matters. This is called retention or outsourcing. So I think I've completed all the 13 departments that I wanted to talk about. And SMEs may not have all these departments because they're small, but they must still be aware of the function. For example, they must be aware of the function of distribution. If not, their goods is going to sit in the warehouse. They must be aware of human resources. If not, they're not going to get talented people to join them. So for some SMEs, some of them are relevant. For some SMEs, it may not be relevant. So it really depends on the business and the scale of your business. How big is your business? Okay, Anas, I think I'm almost done.
Okay, basically apa yang saya boleh rumuskan di sini, ketiga-13 department ini tak semestinya wujud dalam sebuah SME, bergantung kepada saiz sebuah SME, betul tak Mr. Ravi?
Yes.
Tetapi ketiga-13 perkara ini ataupun department ini bolehlah dijadikan sebagai satu rujukan atau satu bentuk cara pemikiran untuk kita compartmentalize our thinking. Jadi bermakna apabila kita sebagai contoh, kalau saya sendiri memulakan perniagaan, katalah hari ini saya baru buka sebuah syarikat. Semestinya saya tidak ada lagi pekerja, tak ada lagi CEO because baru buka hari ini. Tetapi apa yang penting adalah ke-13 perkara yang dinyatakan pada sesi kali ini dan juga sebelum ini, haruslah kita kena ada 13 file. Maknanya kena ada file human resource, kena ada file marketing and promotion, kena ada satu file untuk customer service support, kena ada satu file untuk sales kan. Jadi kita walaupun file itu adalah kosong, biarkan kan. Lepas tu barulah kita masukkan dengan apabila berlaku sesuatu transaksi dan kita masukkan rekod dalam file-file tersebut. Itu di peringkat permulaan. Kita cuma ada file sahaja. Jadi apabila kita punya syarikat telah berkembang maju, kita dah ada CEO, dah ada juga operation manager, dah ada juga HR manager dan sebagainya, barulah setiap file ini akan berpindah tangan kepada manager yang baru dilantik. Jadi di situlah bermulanya Department Human Resource, Department Finance, Department Operation dan sebagainya. Tetapi pada setiap masa ke-13 perkara ini haruslah wajib ada dalam sebuah perniagaan. Kalau kita tak ada mempunyai sumber kewangan yang mencukupi untuk mempunyai seorang human resource manager, kitalah human resource manager. Kita juga adalah operation manager dan kita juga adalah marketing manager dan sebagainya. Itu satu. Dan yang keduanya, SME tidak semestinya harus mempunyai department dalam syarikat tersebut, kan? Seperti mana yang dikongsikan oleh Mr. Ravi pada sesi yang lepas, sesebuah function itu boleh juga di-outsourcekan kepada sebuah syarikat yang lain. Sekiranya kita tidak mempunyai seorang accountant tetap dengan kita untuk bekerja, untuk merekod segala transaksi syarikat, kita boleh mengupah sebuah accountant, firma accountant daripada luar. Tak semestinya kita harus mempunyai finance department. Kita boleh bagi segala receipt, invoice dan sebagainya, berikan kepada firma accountant tersebut dan kita outsource sahaja function itu kepada syarikat tersebut. Jadi, satu perkara yang kita tak perlu fikirkan. Sekiranya kita tidak mempunyai, contoh kita tidak mempunyai seorang IT manager, dan kita nak menjalankan program ataupun produk menjual secara online, tidak semestinya kita perlu mempunyai programmer, tidak semestinya kita mempunyai IT manager. Kita boleh menggunakan ataupun outsource kita punya function tersebut kepada syarikat luar seperti Shopee, Lazada dan sebagainya. So, tidak mempunyai sumber kewangan yang mencukupi bukanlah satu alasan untuk tidak mempunyai function-function ataupun department yang telah dinyatakan oleh Mr. Ravi sebentar tadi. Perkara-perkara ini boleh kita outsourcekan kepada syarikat lain. Okey. Itu yang saya nak sampaikan. Jadi SME dekat luar sana jangan takut. Tengok, 13 department, matilah macam mana nak buat kan. Capital pun tak banyak mana, investment pun tak banyak mana, mungkin ada 10,000 saja capital kan. Macam mana nak ada 13 department? Jangan risau, ada caranya. Kita boleh outsource, okay. Mungkin Mr. Ravi nak tambah sedikit?
Yeah,
sebelum kita moving on to the next section.
Outsourcing is very important. So you must look out for people who can provide you the service you want. I give you one very good example. Recently, everybody want to do social media. Dia mau buat FaceTime, advertisement on the internet. But a social media technician or a person or a manager is very expensive to hire. He will charge you at least 10,000 ringgit a month. These people are very highly qualified and very experienced. So the best thing is for you to outsource, define what you want to do in social media, go to a social media firm and tell them to launch it for you. You try to do by yourself, it will be very expensive for you. Unless you become so big or you reach a certain scale where you can afford it. So don't be afraid about outsourcing, but most important thing, make sure you get a good person to outsource to. Don't outsource your accounting to an accountant who doesn't know anything about accounting. Then you will be in terrible shape. because you have to submit your accounts to SSM. That's when you get into trouble. So choose your outsourcing agent carefully, talk to your other friends, and make sure you have good support on that along those lines. And outsourcing saves you a lot of cost. Okay. I hope this introduction to the various departments in a company was useful. Like Anna said, jangan peranjat, don't get worried. Wow, so many departments. Tak payah. Whatever is relevant for you, whatever you need to be in control as CEO, you keep. Whatever you don't need, you can outsource. But my purpose is not to try to recommend you have all 13. I wanted everybody at the SME level, the smaller companies, to understand that all these 13 functions must operate in a company. You cannot say, I don't want IT, I don't want human resource. You have no choice. This is like a motor car, you must have gear, you must have brake, you must have carburetor. You cannot say, I want to have a motor car with no carburetor. Dia tak boleh lari. So be aware of these functions. That's my main point I want to make. Okay, I hope this was helpful. It's very simple for some of you, but maybe an eye opener for some of you. So I hope I've helped you understand the business model better. And next week we will start going into slightly more difficult and complicated areas in business, like business modeling, strategy, and all that. So this one is just the starting. Okay, thank you.
So,
Anas?
somebody text me saying that, are you having a live session with Tun Daim Zainuddin?
No lah, no lah.
I think they mistakenly, I think your face and Tun Daim look alike lah.
I think they mixed up the white hair. I also got white hair. Yeah.
Maybe we can look at his picture later. So one question from our listener. Let's say he said, if I want to form a startup today, so I'm very new. So of course I know that the 13 department or function is very important, but I may not have much resources to equally distributed to all the 3 function. So if I want to focus on one of function to spend all my resources, so what will be the function or department I should focus the most?
Okay, what I've been describing is for an existing company, a small company. Startup is a different kettle of fish, entirely different. A person who is starting up has to do everything. He cannot pick and choose. So the main thing, if it's a product company, he has to focus on the product. If it's a computer company, he has to focus on the software he's trying to sell. So he can't pick and choose. Actually, it's very difficult. Startup, if you want to do startup, first you must be willing to work 24/7. Everything also you have to do. You have no money to get people to help you. So you concentrate on your invention, your product. So when they started Grab, when it was a startup, where was the focus in getting the software done? Grab runs all on software. So once they get the software and then they launch. So similarly for all startup companies, you just have to work hard on the main area that you are going to launch, the main product or service.
Okay, terima kasih Mr. Ravi. Pada segmen yang ketiga pada sesi kali ini, kita nak berbincang dengan beberapa topik berkaitan dengan COVID-19, PKP dan juga SME di Malaysia. Antara beberapa topik yang kita pilih adalah the world has changed forever, adaptation is the key, and survival of the quickest. Itu adalah antara 3 benda yang kita nak kupas pada sesi yang ketiga pada hari ini. Mungkin Mr. Ravi nak mulakan dulu. The world has changed forever, Mr. Ravi.
What we, Anas and I discuss is, what will the world look like after COVID crisis? Maybe next year, December or November. Most people are saying that COVID will leave what we say a permanent scar. is not going to be removed. It's going to be very difficult, and you are going to face a new world. A lot of things are going to change. The way you go to work, the way you do your business, everything is going to change in COVID, after COVID. So the world has changed forever, meaning it's very difficult for most people to accept this, but this is it. This is what is going to happen. So be prepared that for education, for example, is going to be more online. You can't go out to a restaurant with your family, have birthday functions. So socially, a lot of changes. Businesses, a lot of changes. There's going to be a lot of change. And this change is forever. You cannot reverse back. Even social distancing, I think, will last for a long time. So the days of when people can hold hands and walk are gone. So you're not going to know how to hold hands anymore. So that is the issue. The world has changed forever. This is a major, major change. Think about how it affects you, your family, your business, and try to see whatever you can adapt, you can change to handle that change. It will be a different world. It will be a different world. Yeah, Anas.
So,
Correct.
Mr. Ravi, since it's gonna be a very different world now, from now on, so in order to survive, I think adaptation is the key. Is that right?
That's right. Changes.
So, how we are going to adapt? Company has to adapt. We ourselves have to adapt. But people always ask specifically, what kind of adapt? We need to adapt to what? What are the things that we need to adapt?
Most
So,
painful adaptation will be economic. You may have lost your job or your salary is cut. They move you to a smaller company. So the financial impact will be very significant on the family. You have children you want to send abroad last time, but now you cannot afford to send them abroad. So you have to tell your children you have to study locally, and you have to tell your wife you can't buy a new house, you can't buy a new car. So the economic adaptation is the most important thing. Of course, the health adaptation is also something. You have to keep fit. You have to make sure you do your social distancing, wash your hands, and all that. So make sure your health is also good. It cannot be like before, where you can do anything you want with your body. No. Your body is now has got an attacker, has got an enemy outside. So if you don't take care of your body, this attacker will go into your body, the virus. So you need to adapt your life, your social life, your business life. Many businesses are not going to start again. We all know that. They will come back after COVID. The customer is gone. The premises is gone because you never pay rental for one year. The employees are gone because you never pay them salary. Your product nobody knows anymore. Your service nobody knows anymore. So everything is gone. So the economic devastation from COVID is going to be very, 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 very bad. And the psychologists are saying that this is going to affect also mental health. A lot of people going to go into depression. They are mentally going to get affected. Their relationship with their family will be affected. So it's going to be a very difficult time, this COVID. And you have to sit down with your family, talk to your family, sit down with some of your business people and see what you can do. Maybe you can combine with another business. I don't know your business. But you have to learn, you have to start changing. It's no more business as usual. No more business as usual.
maknanya kita perlu change our lifestyle lah, betul tak Mr. Ravi?
Yeah.
Completely change cara hidup. Kalau sebelum ni kita makan di hotel 5 bintang, kita mungkin kena makan di rumah ataupun mengurangkan perbelanjaan. Betul tak, Ms. Ravi?
Yes.
And then maybe smoker also need to consider to quit smoking to save some money. And good for health also.
Yes.
So basically, bermakna rakyat Malaysia kalau sebelum ini kita berbelanja sebagai contoh RM2,000 satu bulan, so mungkin selepas PKP kita hanya perlu mencari jalan untuk berbelanja hanya dalam lingkungan RM1,000 sebulan.
That's right.
Ya, jadi of course bila penurunan bajet yang sebegitu ketara 50%, banyak perkara yang kita boleh lakukan sebelum ini tak dapat kita lakukan selepas PKP. Okay, sorry ada orang call tadi. Alright, jadi dan yang terakhirnya kita panggil sebagai survival of Mr. Ravi.
Survival of the quickest. This one, I think we need one other session to talk about. There's a lot here. Survival of the quickest means, you know, you see those cowboy movie, two cowboys come together, whoever pulls the gun out, he's the winner, the other guy will die. So you have to be quick. You have to start thinking now, in 6 months, what is going to happen to my tailor shop? 6 months, what is going to happen to my provision shop? In 6 months, I got this shop in, say, Publica or One World. What is going to happen? Who is going to buy my clothes? Because now there's a trend. Everything is going online. People don't want to come out. So if everything is going online, who wants to do retail business? So you may want to start considering, I got all these shoes, I got all these clothes, I got all this jewelry. I want to push it to online. But maybe you only got 10 products. So you go and talk to somebody else. They got another 20 products. You combine and you do an e-commerce platform. But you have to start thinking now. You cannot wait because COVID may not be kind at all. It's going to be very cruel. And the economic impact is very, very high of COVID. And now, of course, the government is giving you a grant of 6,000, 4,000. But I ask you, any government, how long can they give you your salary? Government, even the United States of America also will go bankrupt. There will come a point when the government grant is also lower. So you have to find things to do. You have to be quick. You have to start thinking now. Maybe you go on e-commerce. Maybe you give up your business, go and become a school teacher. So all these things you got to start looking at now. And your children's education, you know, your family matters. Then you got a lot of plans to travel. You want to go to England, the USA, to Russia. All that got to change. All that got to change. So your lifestyle, the way you think about life, everything has got to change.
So basically, if we want to survive this crisis, we have to act today.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I cannot wait until my bank account almost empty. Then that's the time I'm looking for a new job or looking for a new project. No.
Yes.
We have to strategize today and maybe if possible act by today as well. Right? That is the only way to survive.
That's right. You cannot assume that next 6 months you will have your job. Next week, you may get a letter from your boss saying, very sorry, we are closing the business. You don't have a job. So you have to start thinking along those lines, what we call defensive thinking. You have a family to look after. Even if you are a very rich man, you will suffer. Poor people also will suffer. So this COVID, the economic impact is going to be very, very tough on people. Very, very tough.
Sir,
So,
I have one last question, and this one is from myself. If we want to look at COVID-19 as a half glass full, I mean, from a positive point of view, COVID-19, of course, in any crisis, there will be a big problem. And big problem, normally entrepreneurs tend to see problem as opportunity for business, opportunity of making money, right? So definitely during this and after this MCO or COVID-19 crisis, there are some industry who will benefit from this crisis. And there are industry who will be killed or just cease from operation due to this crisis. So from your investor point of view, I know that you have been investing billions of funds before. What will be the industry or company of choice for the investor moving forward? And what will be the industry or sector which the investor will run away from? This will provide some guideline to maybe businessmen, SME out there when they want to strategize. Let's say they want to enter a new business or maybe do some adjustment to their existing business. In what business they would like to enter, something like that, Mr. Ravi.
okay. What I will answer your question in two parts. The first part is, no doubt I told you a lot of negative things about COVID. Things are not going to work out well. It's going to be difficult. But still, there will be opportunities. The smart people, the quick people, they will know how to grab the opportunities. For example, there's a particular industry that is wiped off, say in food or in clothing. So the guy who is entrepreneurial will quickly take up the challenge and rebuild the business. He will enter that particular business. So many businesses will die, but some of these businesses are staple businesses, like food. A lot of the food that we eat, they are basic food. So no doubt the restaurants have closed, but you can come up with a strategy, maybe to do a plan where you deliver food, like Deliveroo or something like that. So there will be opportunities. It is not all grim. What we will do, Anas, in one of the session, I want to
Yes,
look
sir.
at those businesses that really suffer in detail. For example, travel and hotel. Everybody know hotels are all empty. Nobody buying an air ticket. All the planes are grounded. That's one. And then on the positive side, you also have some industries that will benefit. Okay, industries like, for example, even medical industry will benefit because people will be taking better care of themselves. People will be spending more on medicine. So there are specific industries that will benefit, specific industries that won't benefit. So we should look at these individual industries, Anas, in another session.
Okay.
Today
I
we
think
have
that is something for the listener to look forward. Maybe
yes.
in the next session we are going to discuss about it in detail. If you have excess of money, which industry you would like to invest going forward, and if you are already in an existing industry, what should you do? Maybe you need to have a hybrid approach in your COVID-19 survival strategy and so on. I think we can discuss it in detail. And for our next session, we are also going to invite another businessman to share with us what is their challenges during this COVID-19. Then we should look forward for the following session, which will be on next Tuesday, right, Mr. Ravi?
Yes.
Next Tuesday, 2 p.m. Yeah, next week. So, any last words?
Any questions sent to us, specific questions, general questions, questions about your business. What do you think you can be? I hope we can help you with those questions. And also share with the readers. The readers may also have some advice for you.
Sir.
So the idea of this channel is to tell you that you are not alone. The IIC
Sir, I
tells you,
think Zach has something to say, our producer.
okay.
Sir, actually I got question for myself lah. About this. We know that saya suka ingatkan kembali benda ni mungkin daripada penerangan Encik Ravi tadi berkaitan dengan krisis ekonomi Malaysia pada tahun 1997, dan kalau kita perasan pun sebelum tu kita ada krisis lagi, iaitu kejutan minyak pertama pada tahun 1973 dan juga krisis yang kedua pada tahun 1978, krisis minyak yang sama. Adakah krisis pada tahun 2020 ni membuatkan semua peniaga-peniaga buat satu reformasi berubah kepada perniagaan secara digital ataupun perniagaan secara online? Adakah benda ni relevan untuk sekarang ni? Itu soalan saya.
Anas, you're the digital man.
Okay. Okay. Apa yang I nak cerita, this is I punya personal experience. I never buy from Shopee and never buy anything from Lazada before, right? I don't believe that, when I pay something through online, maybe the item doesn't reach my house. That is my thinking. So this PKP, due to this, I cannot go out and buy certain things. I can't buy printer. So I've been looking at Tesco, Giant, no printer available. So I'm forced to buy one printer from Lazada, right? So when I make that purchase from Lazada, I already have my account with Lazada. I already link my credit card with my Lazada account and I make that purchase. And I think within 3 days, the item arrived at my home. So what happened to me that day is that my next purchase of all the office equipment item will be from Lazada because I already registered myself. I confident with the platform and everything is all there. I don't need to memorize even my credit card. I don't need to carry my credit card even. I just, whatever I want to buy, open my phone, the app is there, search, press buy, that's it. 3 days later, the item is in my house. So based on from that experience, PKP has pushed people like me to embrace digital technology. So definitely there is a changes in me, and I believe that I'm not the only person who are affected by this. And I also believe that majority of Malaysian who is not yet having any account in any digital platform during this PKP, they already registered. So due to this, I believe our digital transaction will be more and more after PKP. So that is based on from my experience. Maybe Mr. Ravi have something from a different angle.
I think that is a very good question. All these crises, especially now, 2019 COVID crisis, is moving the world towards electronics and digitalization. Like Anas said, last time he don't trust Lazada. Now he make a Lazada purchase on Monday, Wednesday, it is there. Okay, so a lot of people are takut or skeptical of e-commerce. They are scared to give the credit card. They find that if they take the money away, the goods come, what I can do, Lazada is in China or Taiwan, you don't know where it is. But now this whole crisis has made people very aware of digitalization. But beyond that, the whole economy is digitalizing. I give you one very simple example, very simple. I'm a tailor. My shop is now closed because it's not essential services. Tak boleh buka. Okay. So how do I survive? Again, digital. Okay. I have a software which I can send to somebody. Using the software, they can give me all the measurement, the length of the hand, the leg, the cuff, the collar, everything they can measure using their software. Not they, because they don't know how to measure. So that software measure everything and send it back to the tailor. Okay? The tailor is at home. Then the tailor send the samples of clothing. What color, how much, what texture, wool ka, cotton ka, silk, and you choose. Okay, I want wool. So wool, you send back wool. Then he give you, then the tailor give you a quotation. Now all this is done electronically. Consumer go on laptop or PC, tailor go on laptop or PC. Now this tailor before don't know what is a computer. Dia tak kenal tau. He doesn't know what is a computer. But now he's learning to use it. So slowly his business is growing. So that consumer recommend to another consumer saying, hey, order lah from this tailor. No need to go to the shop. He will send the suit to you or the shirt to you. So you see a simple business like tailoring, because of digitalization and digitalization has enabled the tailor to survive. Very, very simple example. Many examples in this world, many examples. But COVID has accelerated the process because we have no choice. I cannot go to the tailor shop. The tailor cannot come to my house. I can't do anything. So I'm stuck. So digitalization will be a big beneficiary of this crisis, and it will change. Coming back to the first question, the world has changed forever. One of the reasons is digitalization. This is clearly the reason. I hope that answers your question.
That means to put in a very blunt statement that anything that can't be digitalized will die. Is it?
Probably,
or somehow can't be digitalized.
Yeah.
And then not only those online store that having increase in traffic, the changes in consumer behavior also includes, if you look at the statistic, the visitor for dating sites, even for dating site, matchmaking sites, increased by 3-fold. And this is in Malaysia. You see? So, of course, I'm not talking by experience. I'm talking based on my reading. I have to qualify that. But there is a changes in the customer behavior. And the change will remain forever. You know, so these are the things that SME have to pick up from now to and put it in their strategy to survive this COVID-19.
That's right.
So I believe maybe that's all for today's session, sir. Do you have anything more to add?
No. I hope everybody is enjoying the session and finding it beneficial. Like I said, if you have any questions, send it to Anas and myself, and we will try our best to help you in any way we can. If not, we'll throw open the questions to the listeners and the followers, and we can work as a whole on your problem. Again, I'm saying the same thing. You are not alone in this crisis. We want to help you. And IIC Business Channel is an initiative of Innovative International College. The college wants to play a role in helping local business. Thank you very much for your time. We always enjoy talking to you and sharing our opinions with you. Bye.
Okey, terima kasih para pendengar Innovative Business Channel. Sekiranya anda mempunyai sebarang maklum balas, anda boleh menghantar email kepada ibc@innovative.edu.my. Kami di sini untuk membantu memberikan konsultansi secara percuma untuk memastikan kejayaan bisnes anda mengharungi dugaan dan cabaran krisis COVID-19. Okey, sekian dulu pada sesi kali ini. Bertemu lagi pada hari Selasa minggu hadapan. Sekian, terima kasih.
Thank you.
Thank you.